Hey there, welcome. I am so incredibly glad you made it into the clinic today. As your geriatric nutritionist, making sure you keep your physical independence, your balance, and your strength well past 70 is literally my top priority. So grab a seat, because today we're going to dive into an explainer of the Silver Sage Hub's 5-seat protocol. It's a fantastic, highly targeted routine specifically designed to keep your muscles vibrant and strong as you age.
Now, you might be wondering, how exactly do we fight age-related muscle loss? Believe me, I hear this question from patients every single day. I like to think of your aging body like a beautifully maintained classic car, right? The engine still runs great even if, the suspension creaks just a little bit in the morning. But here's the thing, it can't just run on standard fuel anymore. It needs a much more specialized, high-quality, refined fuel to keep cruising without sputtering. And that is exactly what we're going to give it.
To get why we're doing this, we got to talk about a totally natural shift in the body called anabolic resistance. Look, if you've ever felt like you're working twice as hard just to keep the muscle you had, say, 10 years ago, well, you are not imagining things. As we age, our muscles just require much more precise, high-quality nutritional cues to efficiently maintain and build lean tissue. Standard protein is still great, sure, but we need specific plant-based seeds to act as a specialized toolkit to actually break through this resistance. To make this super easy for you to actually do at home, our agenda today is going to walk through a day in the life. We'll cover the Aging Muscle Challenge, morning prep and priming, midday hydration and movement, evening recovery and rest, and then finally hydration selection and storage. Let's take it step by step.
Section 1, the Aging Muscle Challenge, and overcoming senior digestive hurdles.
Okay, let's be real. Our digestive systems just prefer a much gentler approach these days. The old way of doing things, like just tossing a handful of dry or whole seeds onto a salad, honestly, it actually robs you of nutrients and causes digestive tracking delays and that awful bloating. It's totally counterproductive. But the Silver Sage protocol is built entirely around what we call the properly prepared seed. When you prep them right, they're super easy to digest, which means you get maximum absorption of those vital micronutrients, proteins, and anti-inflammatory fats. The core rule here, never ever eat these seeds raw or whole without our specific preparation.
Moving on to Section 2, morning prep and priming, or waking up your digestive system. Let's dive right into this with flax seeds. They are nature's absolute richest plant source of ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, which is a real game changer because it actively fights the chronic, low-grade inflammation that leads to muscle wasting. But there are strict rules here. Whole flax seeds have this really tough outer hull. If you swallow them whole, they pass right through you completely unused. And actually, scratch that convenient option, you cannot just buy pre-ground flax from the store. This surprises a lot of my patients, but pre-ground flax oxidizes and turns rancid incredibly fast. You've got to buy whole flax, store it in a cool, dark place, and grind it fresh every single day.
So, here's your morning flax activation routine. First, just grind those seeds fresh using a little coffee or spice grinder. Second, mix 2 tablespoons of that fresh powder with some warm water. Third, let it sit for about 10 minutes to fully activate. You'll want to drink this warm mixture first thing in the morning, right on an empty stomach. It's like a gentle wake-up call that beautifully primes your digestive system for the day ahead. Next up, within about 2 hours of waking up, it's breakfast time. And we're talking quinoa. Quinoa is awesome because it's a rare plant-based complete protein. It has all 9 essential amino acids you need for muscle tissue repair. But again, it's all about the prep. Please don't just cook it straight out of the bag. Soak it overnight in warm water with a little splash of apple cider vinegar. This breaks down phytic acid, which is a natural compound that literally blocks your body from absorbing minerals. Give it a thorough rinse into cold water, and then, here's the secret, cook it in high-quality bone broth instead of water. Not only is it exceptionally gentle on your digestive tract, but it infuses the quinoa with joint-supporting collagen. Win-win. All right, Section 3, midday hydration and movement, sustaining that energy. Let's talk about chia seeds. The crucial point here is that you must never eat them dry. They are highly hydrophilic, which means they absolutely love water. If you eat them dry, they will literally sap the moisture right out of your digestive tract. Instead, mix 2 tablespoons of chia seeds with 1 cup of coconut water and just let it sit for 20 minutes. It plumps up into this amazing, hydrating chia pudding. It creates a soothing, slow-release gel in the stomach that promotes long-lasting cellular hydration and a steady drip of nutrients between meals. You'll divide this pudding up, 1 part right before breakfast, 1 midday, and 1 before sleep.
Now, to keep those joints moving smoothly throughout the afternoon, we rely on hemp seeds. Hemp is uniquely dense in highly digestible plant proteins, like edicin and albumin, and loaded with anti-inflammatory essential fats. You want a steady stream of these joint lubricating nutrients all day long. So we're going to use what I call a split dosing strategy. Take 4 tablespoons and spread them out. Have one portion when you wake up, one about 30 minutes before you get physically active, one immediately after, and that final portion right before you hit the hay.
But I have to give you a very stern warning right here. Heat is the absolute worst enemy of the hemp seed. Cooking them will completely destroy those fragile, beautiful omega-3 and omega-6 essential oils that your aging joints desperately need. You must keep them strictly raw, so no baking with them, and please don't expose them to anything over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Just sprinkle them fresh right on top of your meals.
Which brings us to Section 4, Evening Recovery and Rest, Building those Cellular Blocks.
For our evening recovery, we turn to pumpkin seeds. These little guys are a total mineral powerhouse. They are packed with highly absorbable organic zinc, magnesium, and iron, the exact building blocks you need for natural hormone health and deep restorative sleep. But raw pumpkin seeds do contain enzyme inhibitors that can cause some bloating. To deactivate them, you can either soak them in salt water for 10 hours or gently roast them at 300 degrees for exactly 15 minutes. Eat these on an empty stomach and, this is absolutely critical, keep them miles away from dairy or calcium supplements. Calcium actively competes with zinc for absorption in your body, so separating them ensures you actually get the full nutritional value.
And finally, Section 5, Hydration, Selection, and Storage. These are our golden rules.
To make this whole protocol work, there is one absolute non-negotiable mandate. Because seeds like chia and flax are just exceptionally high in soluble fiber, you must ensure you drink plenty of water throughout the day. It's essential for seamless, comfortable digestion. Look, if you bump up your seed fiber but you don't radically bump up your water intake, your digestion is just going to stall. Hydration is the vehicle that physically moves all these wonderful nutrients through your system.
Now, I really want you to take a mental snapshot of this. This is your Senior Health Master Notebook summary table. It beautifully consolidates the what, the why, the how, and the when. We've got quinoa for complete protein, prepped in bone broth early on. Pumpkin for sleep minerals, kept away from dairy later in the day. Hemp for raw anti-inflammatory fats spread across the whole day. Chia soaked in coconut water for steady hydration. And freshly ground flax right up front to tackle inflammation. Remember, unlocking these amazing muscle-supporting benefits relies entirely on making this a routine. Consistency over quantity is the golden rule here. Pair this with a balanced diet and some safe resistance training, and you are well on your way.
So that brings us to my final thought for today's explainer. By making these really small, highly targeted, and thoughtful changes to your daily routine, respecting your digestion, and strategically timing your nutrients, are you ready to give your aging muscles the specialized fuel they so richly deserve? It's entirely within your control. Take this information, have a quick chat with your primary care doctor, and let's get to work building that rock-solid foundation together. Thank you so much for joining me here in the clinic for this explainer today.